Hello my friends, Dave Schramm here of SchrammGuitars.com, and today I'm going to show you a custom bridge I'm making for a client. Let's go check it out. Here's the tie block inlay that I made. The bone, buffalo bone here, is all one piece. The central part was cut out, and then I used a jeweler's file to cut out the inside. Then I fit was that abalone? Yeah, in there to match the rosette on the guitar that I'm building. And I framed it with a piece of black veneer there. So then I cut in my bridge this shelf, and I have a center line on here that will index off that center line right there. And then I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue to clamp this on. So I thought you might want to see how I do that inlay blank. And now that the tie block has been glued on, and now I'm going to cut the slot here to outline the tie block. I've already done it on this side, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I set the depth with this fret slot saw so that I have a 4.5 millimeter gap between this edge and right here. So I want that 4.5 millimeters from the bottom of the bridge. So this is already set. The tie block is exactly the width that I want it, so I'm going to index off that edge. So here's how I'm going to do it. I use my square here, get this right next to the end of the tie block, and now I'm going to use my fret slaw. Get this to the depth that I want. There we go. I got those two slots there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the excess here, and then I'm going to round over the wings. I'm now going to use my Preac Tool Company miniature table saw, modeler saw, to cut the edge of the tie block here. So the depth is probably about like 3.5, 4 millimeters depth, and that'll get refined when I do the string ramp and everything here. So now I'm going to cut that. Unfortunately, you can't get this table saw anymore. I bought it about 20 years ago, and it's no longer available. All right. So I'm just going to check it. Yep, that's good. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it, but right here is the slot that I just made. Now what I'm going to do is go to my bandsaw, and I'm going to cut off some of the excess here, and then I'm going to mill the wings. Now I've mounted the Gilbert sanding disc, thickness sanding disc, on my drill press. I've already cut some of this excess off on the bandsaw, and now I'm going to take the bridge. Now notice there is a radius here, but I'm going to push down till this is flat, and I'm going to grind this until it's 4.5 millimeters. So the bridge is now thickness to around 4.5 millimeters here. I shy away from this edge because I'm going to clean this up with a file. And so I'm going to level that out, and then I'm going to do the profile of the wings there. I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so I've taken my safety edge files here, and I've ground that little edge that was there. So now this is all the same thickness here. Now what I'm gonna do to prepare for curving the wings, I like to have about 1 millimeter of space right here off the lower edge. So what I do is I take my scraper. By the way, this is radiused, and this is a radius block. I put my bridge on here, and I'm just going to take my pen, using this as a gap gauge or thickness gauge, and I'm just going to draw a line right here. I don't know if you can see that, all the way around the whole bridge, just on the wings, because that's the line I'm going to file to. I don't want to go below that. There we go. Okay, so there's the line I'm going to file to. For my next layout line, I've set my square here, my 4-inch precision square. Set this to 8 millimeters. And I'm going to put this on the edge here, and take my pen, and I'm going to draw a line along all these edges for that 8 millimeter marking. See it right there. Okay, so I have the line here and here, and now I'm going to take a file, and I'm going to create a bevel right there. Then after I do that bevel, I'm going to round it over with a scraper and a sanding block. So at this stage, I have the roughed out bevels. You can see that. There we go. So this edge and that edge have all been beveled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand scraper, and I'm going to round over this edge right here and here, and start to get the radius on the top of that wing there. Then I have a sanding block with the radius I use that'll help clean that up. Here's the radius block that I use with the sandpaper on it. So this helps me get right up to the edge. You don't have to bevel both edges here. But yeah, it's got some 80 grit on it. So after I bevel or round it over the wing with the scraper, I will refine it with this, which you're gonna see in the time-lapse video. Okay, and now you saw me round this over. I just have to kind of like fine-tune the edge here of the radius, but it's pretty much roughed out right now, as you can see. And I've used some double stick tape to put it on this. I actually use this to when I'm lacquering my bridges. I double stick them onto this. This becomes a handle, but it also makes a good jig for holding the bridge. Okay, so now I'm gonna detail this edge, and then next you're gonna see how I take care of the ramp here of the saddle in the saddle slot area. And I'm gonna show you the pinning holes that I use for my bridges. A nice trick for getting this wall nice and smooth is to use a nut file. This is a 1/4 inch one. And what I'll do is, once this is radiused, I'll put this on there and I'll smooth out this wall here. So that's one tip for doing that. So thought I'd share that part with you. Now I pin my bridges to the soundboard. That means I drill a hole through it. This is in the style of Hauser. Hauser does this as well. Where the strings are. So the 6th string and 1st string, I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to center it in this area here. I'm going to drill it now because it's a lot easier to do it now than after I've ramped this part here. So what I do is I take this, what is that, Veritas or Veritas, however you say it, brand square here. And so where that 1st string is, draw a line there. I'm going to do the same thing for this 6th string. There's my 6th string. And so there we go. I've got those 2 spots right there. And then I'm just going to kind of like get an idea of center here and here. So I've got a mark there. Now I'm going to take an automatic center punch. You see, yeah, this one's ready to go. This is the automatic center punch. So all I have to do is push down, and it's spring activated. It'll start instead of using a punch, this will punch it. So there's that one, and I'll do this other one here. There. So I've now got it's punched here for the hole. As long as it's in that area, it's not going to matter, because once you locate this on your soundboard, you're going to use this as a guide to drill through the soundboard for the these holes, which will have dowel pins in it that I'm going to make out of rosewood. Which I'll show you. You've seen me make dowel pins before, so, or whatever you want to call the pins. So you'll see me do that old school way with a plate and a hammer. Okay, now I'm going to go drill these. Oh, I'm using a 7 64ths bit, which is about 2.75 millimeters, not just under 3 millimeters. You could use a 3 millimeter, that would work too. Okay, now I'm going to go to the drill press and drill the holes. Okay, now it's time to drill the holes. There we go. That was 7/64 bit, 2.75 millimeters. All right, we now have the trough there all chiseled out. You can see the strings there. And it's not quite done yet, but what I do is I use this sanding block inside the trough there. And also this custom-made scraper blade fits in there too to help true up that slot. Now once I've fit the bridge on the soundboard and drilled the holes into the soundboard after locating the bridge, then I fill these with a rosewood dowel, and then that's when I do more finish sanding on here. Then you won't even see the dowels there. Okay, next step, I'm going to bevel this and round this over. Okay, now I'm going to bevel this using my block plane. I like to have a nice round radius on it. Then I got a sanding block that I'll use that'll really make it look good. There we go. Now I'm going to take this radius block and round over that edge. There we go. Just going to do a little bit more sanding on here and show you the next step. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to put the bevel on the end of the bridge. So I've marked the end 1 millimeter. That's what I'm going to taper to. 5 millimeters from the end, I've put a little line. And now I'm using this chisel guide for when you sharpen your chisels. I'm going to use this on some sheets of sandpaper to create that bevel. So I've got some 120, 220, and 320 that I'm going to use. So here it's set on the guide. goes kind of quick, so check your work frequently. Okay, I need to go a little bit steeper. That's why you go slowly. Still steeper. There we go. I think this one will do it. It's good. Now I'm close to the line, so I'm going to switch. Don't do it all on the 120. So here's the 220. Now I'll go to my 320. It's looking pretty good. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so here we have the bridge after I've tapered the ends on it. I still need to do a little bit of finish sanding on it, but it's ready to get fitted on the guitar. And again, once it's fitted on the guitar, I drill holes using these as a guide once it's in the right place to pin this onto the guitar. Then what I do, I have these rosewood dowels that I made. I have a video somewhere on my channel where I show how I make these with a sheet of steel with a hole in it, and I just hammer the thin block of rosewood through it to create these round dowels. Then I'll cut some of this off. That'll go in here, and then that'll locate it on the top when I glue the bridge on. All right, there you go. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video on how I make my custom bridges on my Schramm guitars. Have a great day and enjoy your building. Bye.